So it's the second week of convention month. So like I said in my last video, I want to talk about some of the cosplays I've done, because one of the things that make conventions a lot more fun for me to go to is the whole cosplay aspect, which I've been doing since I started going to the expos. It seems to be the London expos that I mainly wear cosplays for, even though I have done a few others here and there. So I'm going to actually do something I've not done before, and that is my top 5 cosplays that I have put together. I don't usually do this because I have such a hard time doing top. I really have a hard time deciding which is my favourite. But with this one I felt like it was a bit easier because I don't have a huge back catalogue of cosplays, but I do have some that I am really proud of. And the way I'm ranking it is all depends on not just necessarily how often I got recognised, but how much fun I had actually in the costume itself. And yes, I am going to wear this wig the entire time because I did actually wear this for a cosplay, not one that made the list. And I think it's a really nice wig, although if I can get away with not wearing a wig, I will. So anyway, let's get down to it. My top 5 cosplays that I have done. Starting in at number 5. Kaylee from Firefly. The reason I wanted to do this one was partly because I thought it was going to be fairly easy to do, and I do like a good easy cosplay, but also I really like Firefly, and Kaylee is actually one of my favourite characters from Firefly, so I thought it could be a fun one to run around and try and find other people dressed in Firefly cosplay, because you still get quite a lot of them. There's usually at least a couple of groups there every year, and I got really excited when I found a guy cosplaying as Malcolm Reynolds, and yeah, I liked putting it together. I didn't wear a wig. I purposely grew my hair out so that even though I don't have quite the same hairstyle as her, I was determined not to wear a wig, even though I bought one. But my favourite is those overalls. They were huge and massive, but they were really comfortable. And that's what I also like. I like a nice, comfortable cosplay, and this was probably the most comfortable I've ever made. So yeah, I only wore it to one expo, which was, I believe, 2011, October 2011. And even though I sort of wore a half-assed version of it once before, I've really only wore it once. But I do remember really enjoying that cosplay. And in at number 4... the second Doctor from Doctor Who. This is one I had to do because at the time I was really, really into Doctor Who, specifically the second Doctor era. And I really wanted to put together a cosplay, and I thought it would be quite an easy one because he wears a sort of ruffled sort of suit with a tailcoat. In fact, the tailcoat was the hardest thing to find. The one I've got in the picture is one that I actually had to rent from a costume shop, but it was so perfect I had to have it. And I thought it was really good. I didn't have a wig, which was a little bit of a thing, but I was only there for a day, and it was a little bit of a... I've been trying to do this cosplay for 2 expos that I missed, so this was sort of, I'm going to expo for a day and I have to do a cosplay. I have to do this cosplay because I'm trying to do it for like a year, so that in itself was a big deal. But it was also cool because I met up with a couple of other Doctor Who's, the guy dressed as the 5th Doctor, and I think someone else as the 6th, so we had a nice little group going that hung around, and then we found some other people, and we got some photos taken and stuff. So for that, it was really fun. I also did it again for May 2011. Unfortunately, this time I didn't get recognised as much, even though I actually did the whole grey monochrome style. So I sort of wore grey face paint and hands and everything like that. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the same frock coat, which was annoying because that was a really cool coat, but I wouldn't want it to get face paint on it. So I got one that wasn't as good, I didn't like as much. And yeah, even though I thought it was really cool to do the whole black and white thing, not many people recognised it. But overall, I still really enjoy that cosplay, and I thought it was cool. And in at number 3... The Spy from Team Fortress 2, which was actually the first cosplay I did at a London expo, and sort of the first cosplay I ever did at a convention, actually. This was what introduced me to the world of cosplay and how much fun it can be, because me and my friends went as a Team Fortress 2 group. When I was told, even though I enjoyed playing the game, I wasn't sure what to do, so I thought, well, I'll do something easy, which is the Spy, because you just wear a pinstripe suit and a balaclava, and I thought that'd be cool. I also got like a dagger. I got these masks made up to wear over my face to pretend to be somebody else, and it was just the three of us. My friend Selena was the sniper, my friend Luke was the engineer, and because Team Fortress 2 at that point wasn't quite, it hadn't been out as long as of course it has now, there wasn't as many people, but there was still quite a lot of people, and of course because it was also not that old, people got more excited about finding people cosplaying as them. So we got stopped all over. We didn't even go inside the convention. We didn't even make it inside on the day because we got stopped so many times because of our costume. And we even took part in a world record breaking attempt at having the most people in cosplay from video games. So that was really cool. So yeah, we just got stopped every now and again, and then we met up with other people also dressed as Team Fortress 2 characters. It was just the most fun I've had one of the most fun I've had in cosplay. And like I said, one of my first, it's what got me the bug. That's how I got bitten by the cosplay bug, was because of the Spy from Team Fortress 2. And number 2... The Hogfather from the Discworld books. I've already shown a photo of this cosplay because it is one of my more recent ones. But I'm also really happy with it because the first year I did it, I had the idea to actually have a sack and go around giving out really cheap crap. People seem to like the costume regardless of that, but then I decided to actually buy some stuff that would be a bit more geeky and a bit more appropriate for a convention, and that was received just as well. But what I liked about it was the cloak I had, I made myself. I bought the fabric, I made the hood and the cloak, and I made the trim. I did all of that. And I did it by hand. I do not have a sewing machine. I had to sew all of that. And yes, it took a long time. The suit itself was just a Santa Claus suit. But of course, I already had the hands and the mask for my death cosplay. So all it meant was I had to get a few bits and bobs and some boots and all that. And yeah, the cosplay was really good and I enjoyed it at first. But this last year, when I went in October and November to the conventions, I liked it a lot better because I kind of cheated. I did actually just sort of use the Santa suit as a template, I suppose, and just sort of stitched over it all to make the suit, which was a bit of a half-ass, but then it still took me a long time to do. I still had to get a lot of fabric, and I still think it looks really good, and I have been tempted to cut off the original suit, so that it's all just the thick, fluffy fur, which I might do. But it is definitely an enjoyable cosplay because people have mistaken me for just Santa or the Krampus or something like that. I've been mistaken for Jack Skellington as well. But it's still fun. I've made kids happy. I've made kids scared of me. It's always fun. I've met up with someone dressed as Susan, and another Santa Claus and all that. There's always something, there's always a fun interaction to have with a character like that. And I will probably be doing it again in October. And that means my number 1 cosplay is...
And I sang death, death, devil, 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 evil, 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 evil songs. Hell...
Death from the Discworld books. Unsurprisingly. The reason being is because a lot of the cosplays I have are one-offs. I sort of put them together and I very rarely ever wear them for any other convention. My death costume was the first and more or less the only cosplay I've ever put together where I've actually wanted to improve it. I made it first for May 2012 Expo, and it was the wrong time to do it because it was so hot, and death didn't really suit it. So I made it an October cosplay to do every year. And each time I found a way that I could improve the costume, whether it was the actual body itself or improving my scythe. And that scythe, as I have said before, I made myself. And it is probably it's my favourite prop I've ever made. I haven't made a lot of props, but it was one of the I love it. I still look at it now and think that it's really good. And I'm even planning on remaking it as well. I just need to, I'm not going to make it as thick though, and I'm going to try and make it a lot sturdier so it doesn't break. And I want to make the blade a lot thinner as well, to hopefully use in for AmeCon. But as I said, I love it because it's the cosplay I've done the most, but it's also the one that I've made the most improvements. I have added things to it over the years as well. And I just enjoy making it. People have mistaken me for other things. I mean, even if people just think I'm the Grim Reaper, I'm happy. But people recognise it as Death. I've had people, come up to me, and it's one I'm most recognised. I definitely get it's one that people recognise, again, even if it is just for thinking I'm the Grim Reaper. But it doesn't matter because I so enjoy it. Unfortunately, it is one of the most uncomfortable costumes because of how hot it can get, as well as the hands. I love the hands, but Jesus, you can't pick up anything. You can't do anything wearing those hands, and it is very awkward, especially when you want to take off the mask, because it's all song and dance to try to do that. But despite all of that, I will happily go through all of that because it is just so much fun to wear. It's so much fun to meet people whilst wearing it. So yeah, it was kind of obvious that was going to be my favourite one, but I don't care. It is. So that's my top 5 favourite cosplays. I have done a fair few others. I've done Daring Do from My Little Pony. I've done Wendy from Gravity Falls. I've done, what's his name, Eraserhead from My Hero Academia. And I've done a lot of steampunk. I got really into doing steampunk cosplays. And at one point I will do a steampunk cosplay that's, instead of just putting together a steampunk outfit, actually cosplay a steampunk, do a steampunk twist on a character, which I'm planning for this year. Hopefully it will come together. So yeah, I do have some other plans for some cosplays I want to do in the future. And I also would love to hear about what other people cosplay as. And I'm looking forward to seeing some cosplays, of course, this weekend at MCM Birmingham, which, of course, next week I will be doing a review of, or talking about my experiences at it anyway. So yeah, I look forward to talking about that next week, and I will see you then. Jesus Christ. Bye.